It's time for Coffee with the Chicken Ladies, a podcast for people who love chickens.
Hey everybody, and welcome. It's Chrisie&Holly from Coffee with the Chicken Ladies. We're here, and this is episode number 287 of our podcast, where we talk about everything chicken, family, fun, and
more chickens.
More chickens. We drink a ton of coffee. I'm talking a ton, but most importantly,
we hug chickens, ducks, and geese every day.
And kiss them too. Don't forget. We brew coffee from a little coffee house here in Maryland. Holly Ann, what kind of coffee are we brewing today?
We're having some nice, smooth Ethiopian coffee today.
Oh, we're going bold. We're going bold blend.
Delicious.
Are you ready to sip some of this delicious Ethiopian coffee and chat?
I am. But first, some words from our sponsors.
We have some exciting news to share from our sponsor, Grubbly Farms. They're here, new and improved, Grubbly's World Harvest.
I'm a longtime subscriber, and my flock love the healthy, nutritious treats, plus orders $40 and more ship free.
If you haven't heard, Grubbly's has a fantastic layer pellet and crumble feed. It's packed with plant and insect protein, perfect for those picky chickens and ducks.
Grubbly Farms makes food and treats for healthy pets and planet.
To support us and Grubbly Farms, use the link grubbly.co/coffee. Try it today. Okay, so as we sit here, bold coffee in hand, how are you?
I'm all right. How are you doing?
I'm hanging in.
Yeah?
Just trying to get some jump start on my gardening and planting and doing all the stuff. Had another tumble with the dark squirrel yesterday. I think I was on the phone with you, screaming at the dark squirrel.
I think that squirrel is laughing at you.
Trying to get in the food bin. I'm like,
oh, yeah,
are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? He or she ran up on top of the run, all the way across, jumped up in a tree, and I'm like, get out of here, go!
It listens to you very well.
Mm-hmm. That squirrel and I, we're frenemies. We're frenemies.
Frenemies. Well,
I'm friendly to him or her, but you're my enemy.
God. We're heading into the end of May, which means a lot of the stuff that I planted a while ago is starting to be harvested. Getting ready for the second wave of planting, where we put like beans and corn and stuff like that in.
Oh, yeah, and your bad gander was eating your lettuce this morning.
He was, but that lettuce is almost ready to bolt. It was volunteer lettuce. I'm sure the seeds were just left in the bed from lettuce that I let bolt last year. The beds that it's in, that's right about the time I got the Lyme disease.
Oh.
So I did not have a chance to harvest a lot of the things in that bed before they bolted. I'm going to finish the lettuce up in the next day or two before it bolts. And then
if this were last year, we'd be getting ready to go to the UK the next day. Can you believe that?
Oh, I can't. My Lord. We need to go to the UK every year. It's chicken research or sheep research.
Yeah. Let's go to all the farms. I want to go back to Greenwich. I mean, there's so many places I want to go back to.
We didn't get to go to Mudshoot Farm because they were, for some reason, they were closed the day we were planning to go.
The Surrey Dock Farms, they were awesome.
Surrey Docks was wonderful. And I really like to see the sheep there, though I wanted to see the Norfolk Horn sheep at Mudshoot. But anyway, we're not going to the UK this year, unfortunately. We're deep in our gardens, doing what we do, baking. I've been messing around with other ways to preserve duck eggs because I have so many. When people say ducks are good layers, they're not kidding. I mean, they're unstoppable.
Yes, and I had to get the picture of the pickled eggs. Thank you. I think we talked about this before.
Pickled eggs, yeah.
You just sent it to me because I don't like pickled eggs.
I sent it to you as a look what I did. I thought maybe you would think it was pretty and put it on Instagram, but no. Oh, no.
Nope. I said no. I just looked at those pickled eggs. I was like, oh, maybe you'll see it up after this comes out. I still have the picture.
We still have the photos, yes. And like scrambling and freezing eggs and just trying to come up with lots of other creative ways to use them and or preserve them because there's a lot of them.
And giving them as gifts is always fun.
I give a lot of them away, yeah. Although,
me too.
Honestly, a lot of people are like leery of duck eggs. My sisters are all like, give me duck eggs now. And my mom has really come to love them. But when I try to give them to other people, they're like, I don't know what to do with duck eggs. You can use them fairly interchangeably with chicken eggs.
I think the only time I've had them besides in baking is I scrambled them and they were fine. They were good.
They're good, yeah. They're delicious. Yeah, I really like them. I honestly think that duck eggs make better egg salad than chicken eggs because of the creamy yolk.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And on that note, if you're listening to our show and you're loving it, head on over to Apple Podcast and leave us a written typed review. We love to read them. We love to hear what you guys think, especially if it's really good. And while you're there, hit that subscribe button. You never want to miss any of this fun. You don't want to miss it.
If you're looking for some other ways to help support the show, you can tell a few chicken, duck, or goose loving friends about us. You can share your favorite episodes on social media. You can become a patron of the show, patreon.com/coffeewithchickenladies. Thank you to our patrons. You all are awesome. There's 2 more ways you can help support the show. The first is to pre-order our book. Our book will be published on October 20th. That's the date you'll have that book in your hot little hands. We've poured all of our love and all of our knowledge into this book. Almost all.
It's much more than a beginner's book. It's beginners and beyond, and it's got a lot of medical information in it.
A lot of medical information to raise a healthy flock, a lot of history, a lot of context, things we've learned over the years. I guess it's kind of a story, too, in that it traces our own chicken journey and a lot of the stuff we learned along the way. You can pre-order the book right now on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. Any other site, it will become available for pre-order a month beforehand, but just if you don't want to do Amazon, go to Barnes & Noble, pre-order it there. Pre-orders help us more than we can say. The other thing you can do to help support the show is visit our website and our show notes, use our affiliate links and discount codes, buy our book, and buy products from our sponsors.
Yay!
Did you know Omelette have totally changed the chicken feeder and waterer game?
What? Really?
Yep. They've launched an insulated stay clean waterer and no waste feeders, and they're perfect for spring and summer.
Wow. Okay. Talk to me about the waterer.
The insulated stay clean waterer keeps water fresh in warmer weather, prevents slimy buildup, and it stays crystal clear so your flock always has cool water.
That's a big one in the heat.
It really is. Less refilling, less cleaning, and better hydration for your hens.
Love that. And how are the feeders no waste?
Honestly, they solve all of the feeder problems us chicken keepers face. Spills, wasted feed, and pests getting access to food.
Oh, yes. I'm tired just thinking of all of that.
Both feeders are designed to be spill-proof and secure, keeping feed protected and fresh. They both feed up to 6 chickens for a week, so there's less topping up and far less waste.
That sounds like a serious upgrade.
It is. And if you want to upgrade further, if you opt for the Smart No Waste feeder, you can connect via your phone and get it to open and close at times that suit you.
Whoa, I am sold.
Search Omelette, OMLET, and check out these summer-saving accessories today. The Breed Spotlight is brought to you by Murray McMurray Hatchery, defining quality for generations. For over a century, Murray McMurray Hatchery has remained a trusted family-owned business, working tirelessly to ensure our poultry meet the highest standards.
Whether you are an experienced enthusiast or just embarking on the journey, look to McMurray Hatchery for guaranteed quality, rare and heritage breeds, low minimums, and all the supplies you need to raise your flock. Request a free catalog today. Though once was abandoned, they were in the state of New Hampshire. They're a marching band, marching everywhere, and now they sing. It's time for the Breed Spotlight, yeah.
Yeah.
This week's Breed Spotlight is
The New Hampshire.
the New Hampshire marching band.
Sometimes have you ever heard them referred to as the New Hampshire Red?
Yes.
Yeah, I've heard that too. Yeah.
I'm going to call them the New Hampshire Marching Band. That's what I'm going to call them.
They have nothing to do with a marching band.
I'm going to make a new thing that they have everything to do with a marching band.
Okay, go ahead and do that.
Start this rumor around the world, and then everybody will make them little hats, and they'll be in a marching band.
What? Okay. New Hampshire is an American heritage breed chicken developed in the early 20th century, probably around 1915. They are a standard-sized dual-purpose breed. They're popular for eggs and as table birds. They're very pretty chickens, beautiful chestnut color. And you've already told everyone where they were developed. That would be New Hampshire. Unlike a lot of other heritage breeds that come from a mix, like multi-level breeding of different foundation breeds, the New Hampshire comes only from Rhode Island Reds.
Exactly. That's the twist here.
Yeah. They're also commonly used as parent stock of hybrid layers. You see New Hampshire mixed in there a good amount of time when you start looking at the hybrid layers. The Livestock Conservancy currently lists the New Hampshire in the threatened category of the poultry conservation list.
And that's surprising to me.
Me too,
An
yeah.
American breed, should be high availability. An American breed should not be on this list under threatened at all.
They're really good, like homestead breeds are a really good dual purpose bird. So I am surprised that more people don't keep them.
Yeah, they're strong genetic. I mean, it's just, I'm surprised in every way, shape, or form that this bird is listed as threatened. It shouldn't be.
Me too. The New Hampshire was admitted to the Standard of Perfection in 1935. The Standard of Perfection notes that there are strains of New Hampshires that were developed especially as table birds that have extremely rapid growth and increase of weight. But this strain doesn't have the egg production qualities of the standard New Hampshires. So if you're looking for dual purpose and to get all the egg laying, you want to go with just a regular standard New Hampshire bird. And little fun fact, the New Hampshire is one of only 3 chicken breeds that are official state birds.
The other one is the Rhode Island Red. No.
Oh, and the Delaware Blue.
Right. I mean, it's kind of easy to figure out.
It is.
I mean, they're in the name. A name is just the name. And
right.
Say what
Although
where
maybe
they're
New
from.
Jersey should step up and have the Jersey Giant for theirs.
It could be the Bon Jovi Jersey Giant.
Oh my God.
The Bon Jerseys. Yes, that would be great. We're halfway there.
But we're not.
We just started.
The story of the New Hampshire chicken begins in the early 1900s in Walpole, New Hampshire. A produce farmer named Ira Hubbard had 3 sons, Oliver, Austin, and Leslie, who all attended the University of New Hampshire. Now, in 1914, the family started breeding poultry and selling chicks and hatching eggs to families and farms. Oliver, one of the sons, was encouraged by his professor, Red Richardson, to try genetic selection in his breeding program. Now, initially, the Hubbards were working towards disease resistance, which at the time, you were starting to see bigger flocks and more poultry diseases pop up. So that was really important. And the New Hampshire was the end product of all of that disease resistance breeding they were doing. As we said earlier, they are completely derived from Rhode Island Reds, and they selected them for size, robust health, and again, that disease resistance. Now, during this time, the Hubbard family's reputation for really good quality chicks and eggs began to grow. In 1921, Hubbard Breeders Company was founded. And you may already know the name Hubbard because they were the original breeders of the Golden Comet, and they went on to become a well-known poultry genetics company.
Right.
We very recently spotlighted the Comet and talked more about the Hubbard family in episode 278, so not too far back.
Yeah, they're one of the oldest hybrids that are out there is the Golden Comet.
The Golden Comet, right. Now, the New Hampshire was one of the breeds that took part in this. It's not a publicity stunt. It was sort of a publicity contest called the Chicken of Tomorrow contest. We've talked many times on the show about how after the Second World War, organizations and government agencies were looking for ways to provide lots of protein quickly. I mean, they had the best of intentions when they started developing these birds. I don't think they could have foreseen that the birds were going to be stuck in battery cages and all of those things.
I mean, some of the worst things start with the best intentions. So it didn't start from malice. They didn't want to do this to the chicken, but yeah.
We know that in retrospect, this has led to really awful conditions for the chickens. And the New Hampshires, at this point in time, the baby boom was on, and post-war America was looking to use factories and automation to the fullest capacity. I mean, it was almost like a second industrial revolution.
Yeah, exactly.
So back to the contest, A&P Supermarkets, also known as the Great Atlantic and Pacific Tea Company. We had an A&P very close to us growing up.
Blast from the past, man.
Yep. So the A&P and the USDA and Cooperative Extension Service announced a contest with a $10,000 prize for the best broiler chicken. And by that, they meant the fastest growing bird with the most efficient feed consumption. There were a number of smaller state and regional contests that took place as well, and then the winners would advance to the national competition. And in 1948, a documentary film was produced to share the results of the Chicken of Tomorrow contest and the winner's information with consumers. So besides the New Hampshire, other breeds that were entered were the White Plymouth Rock, the Red Cornish, and a New Hampshire Red Cornish Cross. The New Hampshire did not win. The New Hampshire Cornish Cross won.
Okay, well, that kind of makes sense. I mean,
right, because
they really do grow quicker than anybody else. I mean,
right. Perhaps too quickly, but again, for the purposes of this contest,
it makes sense.
Right. Now, and this is just a note on changing meat consumption. I know we've mentioned this several times on the show, but the history is really interesting. According to the University of Wisconsin-Madison's Extension Agency, the average American now eats roughly 70 pounds of chicken meat per year, which is 5 times the amount consumed in 1950. In the 50s, people's annual consumption was around 14 pounds per year. So in that space of time, we've gone from 14 pounds consumed per person per year to 70 pounds.
I mean, also, it was the new health wave of the white meat chicken was so much better for you than red meat. So I think that has a lot to do with it also. People were saying health-wise, it's healthier.
If you're trying to come at it from a sustainability and a humane point of view, I mean, what you can do is simply, and because everything is so crazy expensive right now, you can eat a little less meat and you can buy
some beans.
Eat some beans or a salad. No, you can eat a little less meat and you can buy it from farmers who are producing pastured free-range meat.
Yeah, ones that live their life normally and then go to that. That's a way to go. And then we like to do a few nights a week that we do not eat meat in this household and eat some beans and salads. So you can do a lot with beans.
I mean, and even if you want to consume meat at every meal, you don't have to consume pounds of it. Like mix it up with some veg and stuff, you know.
Exactly. There's a lot more. So let's go into these big, beautiful chickens that came into this contest, almost winning it, but not, right? And see what they're looking at and seeing how they're weighing in. The roosters are coming in at about 8.5 pounds, where the hens are weighing in at about 6.5. And if you have birds already, you know 6.5 hen is pretty hefty. They're an armful, that's for sure.
Yep.
They have the straight combs. The hens have combs that will flop over a bit. They have red earlobes and those yellow legs and feet, blocky, broad, triangular kind of body shapes. Both sexes are rich in that chestnut color, which is gorgeous. I have beautiful. Spicy. She's a Rhode Island Red. She has it. It's beautiful. And hens have the black border on the lower neck feathers and the black tail feathers, which kind of makes them stand apart a little bit.
It's pretty.
Yeah, where the roos are chestnut and russet and have black and iridescent green tail feathers. So they kind of look a little different. Of course, the boys are bigger.
I would describe this breed as an elegant bird. The coloring is simple, but very, very pretty. They're just an elegant breed, I think.
They're the elegant breed to the Rhode Island Red because they are much of the Rhode Island Red, just with some class, right? So that's what you're saying.
No, I wasn't commenting on personality, etc. Just on looks.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, on looks.
Okay.
So the hens are good layers of large brown eggs, about 200 up to about 250 per year. And the hens are known to go broody and will hatch a clutch. Now, that's different than the Rhode Island Reds. They're not really broody birds, the Rhode Island Reds.
No, not unless you get some of the older heritage strain Rhode Island Reds.
Right.
If you can get a bird, a 6.5 pound hen, averages 6.5 pounds, and will still give you between 200 and 250 eggs a year, that's a really nice hen.
Honestly, I feel like, 200 plus, you're in the good category there.
For sure.
I mean, you have your eggs. This is why we do crack in the eggs, to tell you different ways to use all these eggs, but they give you a lot of eggs. So this is actual fantastic homestead breed. Especially if you want to use their broodiness for hatching, which we're going to be talking about coming up here with our guest of the month. And they're great.
They're really good dual-purpose chickens. They are great additions to a permaculture or a regenerative agriculture system. I mean, even if you're only working on half of an acre, you got manure, you got eggs, you got eggshells. You have them to eat certain weeds and leftovers, and they're a really good addition. They are reported to be intelligent and friendly, though, take note of this, they are sometimes a bit competitive or aggressive in a mixed flock. So maybe one New Hampshire in a mixed flock would be a nice thing. I don't know. If they're like the Rhode Island Reds and form a girl gang, you got to watch it.
Or you have an entire flock of just them. They're great just themselves, right?
Or mix them with other stronger personality breed.
Wyandotte, another American breed, or mix them with the Rhode Island Reds. Mm-hmm. Keep all the stronger breeds so that they'll be able to stand up for themselves against each other, basically, and form a good pecking order in that respect.
Now, let's be realistic here because these are big birds and they do like to eat. So this is not a bird that's going to be cheap, like low cost to keep. You need to feed these birds to keep them in condition.
Is there really a cheap bird to keep? I don't believe that to be so.
I mean, I know they say it about the leghorn, but my little leghorns go to bed at night with some of the biggest food boob I have ever seen.
What did I tell you? I was like, Lucy, she went with some of the biggest crops at night. I was like, how does one little 5-pound bird, 4-point-something-pound bird pack it in? She's always eating.
That's Donatella, my brown leghorn. I mean, I will laugh out loud when I see that crop sometimes. That is a giant food boob.
I mean, you should not be surprised because for years I've been saying those leghorns.
No, I know. I'm not surprised. It still makes me laugh. Every time I see it, it makes me laugh.
But they're reasonably both heat and cold hardy, but do need accommodations in either extreme.
Sure.
Where they are is they have this really sturdy feeling body, which is that when you get a chicken like that, it's good to pick them up. You're like, they're good.
That's
but they got the combs that you don't want them getting frostbitten. They're not overly fluffy, so they're a little bit more tolerant to the heat.
Right.
But as everybody else, the heat gets to everyone, so they have to have fans when it gets way too hot.
Right. And the hens have good sized straight combs, but some of the New Hampshire roosters have got, massive, gorgeous, huge comb and wattle, and that has got to be guarded from the cold. So I personally would have their coop fitted with a cozy coop heater in case you have to turn it on a dozen times over the winter just to protect that comb.
You know what we forgot to mention, which is so true, which I'll never forget, is that there is a bantam version to the New Hampshire.
There is.
There's a lot of them in the show community, let me tell you. A lot of them.
Seems to be a large group of older gentlemen who are really serious about breeding and showing their New Hampshire bantams.
So many of them. I'll never forget all those New Hampshires. That's one of the things that stuck in my head. I was like, I'd never have seen so many New Hampshires in my life, and they're bantams.
They're pretty. They're pretty. Again, they're that dark red. They're very pretty birds. Yeah.
Okay, so here's the thing. If you listen to this and you're like, I could see myself trying some New Hampshires, where are we going to send everybody? Where do they have to go?
McMurray Hatchery has a gorgeous line of New Hampshires. I mean, they're really beautiful birds. You can also check the Livestock Conservancy's breeders directory if you're looking for somebody local. They're in the threatened category, but they're not super hard to find. They just need people to take a chance on them and see how well they work out.
Let's do that because then I want to come back to this breed again in a year or two, whatever down the line, and report that they're out of the threatened category because their accessibility is just fine. I mean, we are able to get a hold of them, so they should not be in a threatened spot here. I mean, they're easy to get. So people, add a New Hampshire to your flock.
Yeah, absolutely. Take a chance on them.
Take a chance. Okay.
One caveat. If you're a complete and utter beginner, do not start off with lots of New Hampshires. I'd give yourself a little, I don't know.
They're not a beginner bird, but I could see one in a mixed flock you could do as a beginner.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But like we said, this would be a good American flock. The Wyandotte, the Rhode Island Red, the New Hampshire. Barred Rocks, Delawares. Although the Delaware might be a little too meek.
I would say that the Buckeye and the Delaware might be a little too docile. Dominiques might be able to hold their own in there.
Yeah. And if you want like an all-American class flock, that would be kind of cool. And you could have different ones.
Are you ready to dive into the fascinating world of backyard ducks? Look no further than Metzer Farms, your premier destination for top quality waterfowl. Whether you're a seasoned breeder or just starting out, Metzer Farms has everything you need to elevate your flock to the next level. And if you're passionate about call ducks, you're in for a treat.
Metzer Farms hatches a stunning variety of call ducks, meticulously bred for their miniature size, beauty, and calm temperament. From snowy whites to vibrant colors, each duck is a masterpiece waiting to grace your backyard. Visit MetzerFarms.com today to browse their extensive selection and start your journey into the wonderful world of waterfowl. Metzer Farms, where passion meets perfection.
If you're looking for a chicken coop that's produced in a planet-friendly, sustainable way, try Nestera.
Each coop is made from highly durable, 100% recycled plastic that keeps the equivalent of up to 2,000 shampoo bottles out of a landfill.
Their clean, modern design will fit into any garden or run area and comes with an industry-beating 25-year warranty and a range of handy accessories.
Simple to put together, so quick and easy to clean, and most importantly, red mite resistant. Your chickens will love it.
Quick shipping from Nestera US.
For a 5% discount, use the affiliate link in our show notes, on our website, and on Instagram. Link in bio. Check them out today.
Eaton Pet and Pasture is a farmer-owned company based in upstate New York that creates USA-made sustainable products for backyard chicken keepers. From low-dust hemp bedding and comfy aspen nesting pads to nutritious treats and odor-eliminating products, everything is designed to keep your coop clean, healthy, and smelling egg-tastic.
All their products are made right here in the USA with ingredients that are safe for your flock and the planet. So whether you're doing a deep clean or just a quick refresh, Eaton makes it simple to care for your coop the natural way.
They're your one-stop shop for coop freshness and flock happiness, made easy.
Visit EatonPetAndPasture.com to explore the full line of flock favorites and use the code COFFEE at checkout for a first-time purchase discount. Okay, so we're ready to move on to main topic. Yeah.
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 We've had a lot of fun lately because we've been having a whole bunch of our favorite people on the podcast talking about really fun stuff. And today, we're going to have one of our favorite people, and we know that our listeners, you are one of their favorites too. Fiona. It's good to see you.
I love being called a favorite. Ooh.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Fan favorite.
All warm and cozy.
You are,
Fan favorite Fiona.
Oh, bless you. Thank you. That's so lovely.
So anyone new, if you don't know who Fiona is, besides one of our bestie across the pond, Fiona and her husband Hugh are the hosts of the really fantastic English Country Life YouTube channel, which you want to pay attention to if you're trying to learn to be a homesteader. Because you guys
Doing
go from
everything.
Making wine to keeping chickens. I mean, you do it all over there.
Yeah, preserving food, growing fruit, growing veggies, keeping the chickens, solar energy now, moving in that way.
Love that.
Loving it all.
That.
Everything.
So the other really amazing thing about you is that you guys raise beautiful heritage breed English Orpingtons in the buff color.
I love the way you call them English Orpingtons.
Well, because
They're Orpingtons. Yours are American Orpingtons. Let's get this right. Orpingtons are English Orpingtons.
They are English Orpingtons. And the reason I say that is because, I mean, some of our Orpingtons here are breed standard. But for an Orpington to be breed standard, they need to be massive. And your Orpingtons are massive. They are breed standard heritage Orpingtons.
Oh, and here's the
they're
thing.
properly big.
If you want to learn even more about Fiona, buy the book because she's in it. She's in the book.
Oh, you are in our book, Fiona. That's right.
Honestly, when you said, could you put a little bit about me in it, I was so flattered. Honestly, I am so excited to see the book coming out. I was so flattered. Thank you.
Oh,
Of course. Of course. We were just talking before we hit the record button about Fiona's been with us. We've been doing this for 5.5 years, and Fiona has been our chicken lady bestie for like 5 years now.
yeah.
How does time fly?
I can't believe it's that long. It was just after you started we got in contact, wasn't it? And it's been so much fun ever since. I mean, I honestly love catching up, because what everybody who's listening probably won't know is that we record for maybe 15-20 minutes and then there's 2.5 hours of just chatting.
We are. I mean, we're really just all such good friends, and it's just catching up with each other when we get on the mic. And hey, how are things with your parents? How are things going? And then we're like, let's talk chickens. Okay.
And now we can talk chickens and ducks. But so, Fiona, can you give us a little update? What's going on with your flock right now?
Well, we did say when I was on last time we were going to be hatching ducks this year, but we've been hatching all our own Broody Hen chicks first. So we've been hatching all our Orpingtons. So the plan is we've got the last of our own Orpingtons hatching at the moment. Then we've got an unrelated set of Orpingtons hatch where we bought the eggs in, because that's going to give us our breeding cockerel for next year, because we keep the genetics strong every single year. And then we are going to be hatching the ducks then. And that's actually the next broody. So I was saying earlier to you before we started that I am betting on it's either going to be summer or mulberry. So I'm open to bets on which one it's going to be. I know the listeners won't know which ones they are, but just have a mental bet with yourself whether it's going to be a hen called Summer who is 2 years old and has done it all before, or a hen called Mulberry, who's a first-time broody who's never done it before. My money's on Mulberry.
I was leaning Mulberry, but then I like Summer's experience. So
I'm going Summer.
Are you going to cover this on your YouTube channel?
Yeah, we are as we're going along. So I'm hoping that we can do an update actually next week or the week after on the ducks, but I can't do an update until we've got a broody hen who's going to hatch them.
Go!
So we've got everything ready to roll. We have got the enclosure sorted. We've got a free range area for them outside the enclosure. We've got the duck house. It's all ready to go, but we just need a broody hen.
Remind me, are you going with the Nestera duck house for this?
Yeah, we've got the Nestera duck house. We were going to actually hatch 2 sets of ducks because we were going to be hatching some for some neighbours, but actually they've come to realise how much work ducks take and how different they are to chickens, so they're going to stick with chickens for now. So we're only hatching for ourselves.
So the cool thing is there aren't a lot of like duck houses out there, and Nestera actually has a house that is made
easy
for
clean,
them.
Low maintenance.
Yeah,
everything about it just does the job.
It's crazy.
Everyone tells me just how messy ducks are. So actually being able to get the pressure washer inside that Nestera duck house is going to be a godsend.
Nice.
Let's face it.
I want the wagon for my ducks, which works really well because I have runners and the wagon has such fantastic headroom.
We were going to use the wagon for the second broody hen for the ducks, but because we're only going with one, we're going to stick with the duck house.
Mm-hmm. It's good to have options, though. I mean, you have 2 possibilities right there that can work for waterfowl.
Well, what we're probably going to do is we'll set the broody hen up in the duck house, but as soon as they hatch, we'll open the wagon as well. And they can have a choice. Yeah. So, they can go into either. And I would place bets on they'll probably choose to go in the wagon because there's more room.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my girls love the wagon. So we're going to talk a little bit about, as we were saying before we started recording, it's been a long time since we talked about hatching your own eggs, the pros and cons of using a broody hen. So because we have so many new listeners and so many people getting into chickens again this year, we want to go over that a bit.
About broody. Yeah, about letting that hen sit on those eggs instead of using the incubator and some of the pros and cons.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with broody hens is the best bit about it is that once the chicks have hatched, they do everything for you. Whereas if they hatch in an incubator, you've then got to set up either a heat lamp or a brooder plate. You've got to make sure that they are fed and watered and don't get themselves into trouble. Whereas my broody hens are essentially doing it all for me. Yeah. It takes all the pain away. But we do it in quite a scientific way. So a lot of people will just say, let's just give eggs to the chickens and let them get on with it. And you can do that, but there are big downsides with choosing to do it that way. You can actually end up with very low hatch rates. You can end up with crush deaths with the hatch process itself. You can end up with chicks who start to come out of the egg, end up with hypothermia because mum has left the nest and gone away. So we don't do that. We do it in a very, very measured way. But if you want certainty, go with an incubator. Now, the reason I'm saying that is because waiting for a broody hen, like me waiting for Summer and Mulberry to go broody at the moment, it's like waiting for a kettle to boil. You sat there for ages thinking it's going to happen in a minute, it's going to happen in a minute, and they keep letting you down, and then they give you false hope and walk away.
I was going to say, can you tell everybody, because they have to prove themselves to be a broody hen before they get the real eggs. So can you tell everybody about what that process is?
What we want to do with a broody hen, they will sit on any eggs which happen to be available to them at the time. Now, what they can then do is keep gathering more eggs and more eggs and more eggs. And if you've got them in the same coop where other hens are as well, those hens will want to lay in the same nest and they will add eggs. And what that can do, so if your broody hen has been incubating for 10 days, an egg must be incubated for 21 days. Another hen comes along, lays an egg beside your broody hen. The broody hen takes it in, and actually that pushes a viable egg out. And that egg she's taken in, because it's only going to be incubated for 11 days, essentially is not viable. Nothing's going to happen with it. And you've lost a viable egg.
Right.
So what we do is say, right, if you're broody, you need to prove that you're going to sit. And that means we want them to sit for 2 full days and 1 full night, and only come out of the coop, off the nest, to basically poop, drink and eat. That's all we want them to do for no more than an hour. Once they've done that, we will then set them up in their own coop and their own run. And that means that no other hen has access to their nest. That reduces the chance of bacteria as well encroaching through the eggshell, the porous eggshell, because broody hens won't defecate around the nest, whereas other hens don't care. If they're in around that nest, they will poop wherever. Any bacteria could go through the porous eggshell. So we set our broody hens up in their own run and coop. They will need to then stay in that coop. They need to prove to us that they're committed to that new coop. Because sometimes you'll move them and they'll hate it. They'll come straight away and break. They won't want to be in there. So they'll need to prove that they like that nest. So that'll be 1 full day and 1 full night. Then we'll take away essentially what we call sacrificial eggs. So whatever they've been sat on, which we've moved with them, we'll take those away and we'll give them a set of brand new eggs for them to incubate. And how many we give them depends on the size of the hen.
So if you have an average size hen, how many eggs should somebody have under? Orpingtons are large. So how many do you put under an Orpington? Let's start there.
Our Orpingtons, 15.
The English Orpingtons can take 15 eggs, where the American Orpingtons might have
12.
Between 10 and 15. We'll go with 12.
A larger fowl chicken, so if you give them for a Brahma or an Orpington, it's normally about 12 eggs. Our Orpingtons can take 15, no problem at all. But we don't allow them to hatch 15. And the reason for that is that they can easily incubate 15. They can raise 15 chicks. But if we left 15 eggs under at hatch time, first chick comes out the egg and there's 14 solid spheres around them. And you have this tiny, tiny, fragile little chick that's come out the egg. So those other eggs, which are unhatched, are still moving around a little bit. So the risk of crush death is very, very high. So we will only leave roughly 6 eggs underneath the broody hen on hatch day. And we remove all the others and put them in an incubator and hatch them separately. Now, to be fair, there's risks associated with that as well. For most hens, there is a risk that when you reintroduce the chicks, the broody hen won't accept them. For our Orpingtons, never been a problem. Those hormones are there, and it's like, all the chicks in the world belong to me.
They want babies. They're like babies, like me saying to Holly when I had Josie, I need some fertile eggs, man. This chicken wants to be a mom.
I said, look, I can give you some Swedish flower eggs. I have fertile Swedish flower eggs. And this is what changed her mind. I said, but you're keeping any roosters that hatch.
Said, no, thank
I'm
you.
not taking cockerels. And she was like, never mind. Never mind.
No, thanks.
Yeah. And that is something which we do need to touch on, because we've said this multiple times before, but it is worth touching on again, that 2 eggs that hatch, 1 on average is a hen, 1 on average is a cockerel, and you need to have a plan. Now, everybody's plan is different and there's no wrong answers, but you need to have a plan before you start, because actually finding out you've got cockerels and roosters after the event and then panicking is not fun for you, and it's not great for the chickens either.
I was going to say, it's even less fun for the poor little roosters. So make sure before you go on into this endeavor that you know what you're going to do. If you get boys, somebody that wants boys, or you're going to have a bachelor flock, all the different things that you can do.
Yeah, I mean, bachelor flocks are actually a really good idea, aren't they?
They're hot right now. They're hot.
Yeah. It's so few people keep them, but they're really calm and they're sweet.
They're very sweet. I love spending time with my bachelor boys. And for me, like, the Nankins are still a threatened breed. So it doesn't make any sense to me to be culling a bird where if I just take the extra step of keeping a bachelor flock, I've got a bunch of genetics right there for someone who needs them.
Yeah.
So just really quickly, so you got a bachelor flock. If possible, you can sell or place starter flocks where you sell a cockerel with some hens.
Yeah, but we do that. We make sure we do that with the unrelated. So we will sell, in fact, our waiting list for chickens, although anything which we can hatch this year is already pre-sold.
Wow.
And 4 of those sales are for starter flocks. So the hens which come out of the unrelated set, which we're hatching, will go with one of our own genetic cockerels, and vice versa. That's how it will actually work.
That's perfect. Another option, if you're doing dual purpose chickens, is that you can grow your cockerels on first season and use them as table birds. That is absolutely a legitimate use. The only thing we really take issue with, the only thing that's really inhumane is just dumping them somewhere.
Yeah,
it's cruel.
Horrible.
It's absolutely cruel. And I honestly think a lot of people that do it think actually they're doing the cockerels a favour, but actually they're not, because these cockerels will have been raised in a domestic environment. They don't know how to forage. So the likelihood is it may take some time, but they will starve. But it's more likely they will be predated, and predated very, very quickly, because they're not savvy enough.
No.
Right.
They don't have access to a coop anymore. They'll just have something will come along and predate them almost immediately. In fact, there was a lovely lady who had took in 3 Pekin hens, which are Bantam Cochin. You call them the Pekins over here, the Bantam Cochins in the US. Somebody had dumped 4 hens. Now, when she went to get them, there were only 3 of them. Because one had immediately been predated, and it happened that quickly. I mean, who would dump hens?
It's crazy.
People dump all kinds of things. Well, that's how, and he's a boy, but that's how he ended up with bad gander. Somebody just dumped him in the neighborhood. So
it's awful.
And if you try all those different things, instead of dumping, go to your local animal shelter. They may have more resources for you. That's not to say to do that first. That's to say that's a last option, to turn them over and have them help find a home for them. But dumping them is not an option. Please.
But even better, have a plan before you start.
Right.
Exactly.
You know, so work out what you want to do.
What are some of the really great things? What are some of the advantages, the pros of hatching with a broody hen? And I know there's a ton of them.
I mean, they regulate the heat, they regulate the humidity themselves. You don't need to worry about any of that. You don't need to worry about power cuts with your incubator. You don't have to buy an incubator. You don't have to buy your brooder plate. You don't need to have a special location. You don't have to make sure that those chicks are warm and looked after. And she does all of that for them. They are so clever. I mean, today we had Apple's got 2 chicks at the moment, just 2 because the rest are in an incubator, which is a story in itself. But not for the reasons we just discussed, actually, but we made a mistake, but it happens. But we had really, really sudden downpours today and very, very intense. She just went straight back in the coop with them. I mean, we didn't have to worry about it. She just wandered straight back into the coop, took the chicks with her, settled down, made sure that they were dry, they had water and food in the coop, and then came out when it dried up.
The other thing I like is the broody hen. She takes charge of introducing them to all the others in the flock.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
and protects them.
Yeah, we do it differently to most other people because most of the people we know that breed with broody hens keep them separate and then introduce them when the youngsters were somewhere between 12 and 16 weeks. We don't do that. After we're confident that the chicks are fast enough to keep up with mum, which is normally 48 to 72 hours, we take the run away. Yeah, we take the run away and they're out with the flock. Now, Buff Orpingtons are very docile. Ours are even more docile than most because with careful breeding, ours are very, very friendly. We've got a very large space and we've also got a lot of areas where the flock can get away, the broody hen and the chicks can get away and they can't be seen by the rest of the flock and vice versa. So, if there are any problems, they keep away from each other. But the broody hen is a gatekeeper to the chicks. So if anybody in the flock is too curious, she will see them off. She will make sure that they know that they're not welcome. But as the chick grows and gets older, she will gradually let them have slightly more access and safe access. So if another hen is too aggressive, she'll still see them off. But if it's just a quick tap on the head, light tap on the head to say no, This is my place. I'm senior, you're not. She's perfectly fine with it.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's anything which is likely to cause harm or injury or even scare the chick, the broody hen will see them off, but she will gradually back off bit by bit, and she does it in a very, very safe way.
Mm-hmm.
And it's fascinating to watch. I love it. You should have seen Winter this year. Winter was our head hen.
Yeah.
So we had Tiny, who was the bottom of the pecking order. She hatched first. And she was, scared of all the flock, and she was keeping her chicks miles away from everybody else. Winter hatched hers. First day we opened up the run, and she was out with those chicks. She was like bulldozering into the middle of the flock. Right, I'm here. Get out of the way. These are my treats, not yours. It's just so funny. They are so full of personality.
It's also natural, right?
This is the thing as well. The people who buy youngsters from us find it much, much easier to introduce to their own hens if they've got an established flock, because they're taking in youngsters who understand that there's more senior members of the flock already.
Yeah.
So if you're taking home chicks, youngsters who've been hatched in an incubator, they've only known chicks the same age as them.
Right.
They are bolshy. They will try and gain places in the pecking order. They won't understand it's possible to be lowest of the low on the pecking order, whereas ours do understand that if they behave in a particular way, they will have better access to food. They will be able to sleep without problems in the coop and not be kept out. So their behavior is such that they're much easier to integrate.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the only hatching I've done with the broody hen is Nankins.
Who was so cute. They were gorgeous.
They're so cute. I'm down to 2 hens. I need to get more hens. But
Well, you know how to do it.
Just the fact that literally the mother does everything. Like you said, you're not worrying about power cuts, because in the warm months here in Maryland, we lose power pretty frequently. We've tried to do a heat lamp with the power station and it works, but not that long.
Yeah.
Solar power station. But the part I liked about it is how healthy and natural everything was. And just that if you're looking for strict economy, it doesn't cost a whole lot to have you're not using electrical. You're not paying the price for the chickens. The only thing you have to do if you want to hatch with a broody hen is have enough room for those new flock members and have a rooster plan. That's it.
Yeah. Know what you're going to do. Know what you're going to do with those roosters, because again, that's just not fair to those animals. Just to let them work so hard to get out of an egg to just kill them.
To be fair, if you want to have a higher hatch rate, you do need to invest. So it's worth investing in a separate run and coop. It's worth investing in an incubator to support any eggs which the broody hen happens to leave, because 48 hours after she hatches, she's going to leave the nest no matter what.
Right.
Whether you leave food and water in, she's going to leave the nest.
I should have said that you do have to have someplace to move her to. It's easy for us because we just moved her into our garage, into one of the pop-ups that we use for when chickens get sick. But yes, you're right. You really can't leave a broody hen in with the rest of the flock. Maybe some of you have done it and gotten lucky, but that's not best practice for this.
No, and the thing is, what you can end up with, it's not just the threat of bacteria encroaching on the porous eggshell. You can actually cause injury to the chicks because the broody hen gets very aggressive with the other hens around it. Mm-hmm. You could find that the other hens around it because you're forcing them into an enclosed location, whereas naturally, the way I've described, the hens will get out of the way of each other so that they're not a threat to each other. But if you're forcing them to all sleep in the same coop, there is a big threat from the hens with the chicks. There's also a threat from the broody hen to the other hens as well. It's to me, it's just not worth it, because your chicks can be killed even if your broody hen is fighting with the other hens. Accidents happen when those fights are going on because they're vicious.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
And that's not a good thing to see, especially if you want your kids involved and all those things.
No.
So don't want that.
If you're dealing with really rare breeds or anything, like just take the precautions, because everything ends a lot better if you do put those extra precautions in.
I mean, even with us, even with our really, really docile Buff Orpingtons, we will watch so closely for the first 2 days that the introductions happen. I mean, thankfully, touch wood, we've never had any issues, but there's always the first time, because every hen is different. You just never know.
I think Fiona, you've given everyone so much good information.
That was a major download in a couple of minutes, wasn't it?
Yeah. Broody, that maybe some confidence for people to do that and try it with all those good pointers. We want to thank you again for coming back every month.
There is a playlist, Broody Hen season, on our YouTube channel, actually, where people can see in more detail all of the steps. And we follow through from actually setting up the broody hen in the first place and collecting the eggs and how to do that, right through to when the broody hen makes the chicks independent. Because if you've never observed that process, it's an eye-opener.
Yeah,
it sure
go over
is,
to YouTube.
Isn't it? When they're finished, they're finished. They're like, no more.
They're done. They're done.
Get out.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So we'll see you next month. Thank you for coming on.
Next month,
That's lovely.
We hope. Fingers crossed. Next month, we're going to talk about ducks under a broody hen. Duckling.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. I'm hoping that Mulberry or Summer actually take the initiative in the next few days, but you never know.
Fingers crossed.
Okay, we'll talk to you later.
Thanks, Fiona. Bye. We just want to thank Fiona one more time for, number one, being amazing.
And being our friend.
Don't forget to go check out her videos on all kinds of great stuff, but her chicken keeping videos specifically on her YouTube channel, English Country Life.
Go Summer.
If your flock could talk, they would thank you for shopping at Eaton Pet and Pasture, your one-stop shop for coop freshness and flock happiness made easy.
From their all-natural USA-made favorites like hemp bedding, roost refresh, and nesting pads to convenient product bundles that make chicken care simple, Eaton has everything you need to keep your coop clean, cozy, and odor-free.
Check them out at EatonPetAndPasture.com and use code COFFEE at checkout for a first-time purchase discount.
Are we ready to move on to
cracking the eggs?
Cracking those eggs. Now, this week, we're thinking about a potato-crusted something, and we were like, what can we do? And we just said, let's just keep it simple. Let's do the potato-crusted quiche because it's good.
Well, it has many of my favorite things in it, including potatoes, eggs, and cheese.
I mean, okay, how many people love potato bread? Me. I know.
I just want potatoes. I just want the potatoes.
Yeah, potatoes are amazing. They're amazing base for anything.
I just want to let you know, I have no fewer than 8 varieties of potatoes planted this year.
Okay.
So you know.
Are any of them purple or any of them purple?
Yeah, in fact, I've got Peruvian purple fingerlings.
They have the most nutrients. So yeah, let's go through the ingredients of this quiche. It really doesn't take an explanation. A quiche is a quiche is a quiche is a quiche. But you do know if it's a potato crust, it's going to be even better. So for the potato crust, this is what you need. 1.5 pounds of white or gold potatoes, either boiled or steamed until they're fork tender.
And I didn't put this in the recipe, but I'll make a note when I put the recipe on our website. These can be peeled or unpeeled. It's completely up to you.
If you want the extra nutrients, leave the peels on. If you want it might even look kind of cool, like really rustic with the peels. Then we need olive oil for drizzling, and we need 1/2 teaspoon for salt. So let's go into the filling. That's how easy the crust is right there. 6 large chicken or duck eggs or 2 goose eggs, 1/2 cup of ricotta. Dairy-free ricotta or cottage cheese. Cottage cheese does not happen in mine, just to let you know, okay?
You could even leave it out. It's to make it extra creamy, but you could even leave the ricotta and the cottage cheese out.
The ricotta's staying in for me. But
okay,
the
that's
cottage
fine.
cheese.
Yeah, okay, that's fine, cheese snob. But some of us
yes, I am. Don't ever forget it.
Some of us can't always get dairy-free ricotta. So,
okay, 2/3 cup of shredded cheese or dairy-free cheese of choice, 2 cups of finely chopped broccoli florets, 3 tablespoons of milk or dairy-free milk, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper, 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder, optional mixed fresh herbs from your garden or from the farmer's market or from the grocery store. It really doesn't matter. Parsley, dill, or chives, and make sure they're finely chopped so that you don't get one big overall taste.
You can leave them rustic, like somebody can get a big mouthful, like a branch of dill in there or something.
That doesn't sound
very
right for some
refreshing.
reason. I don't know why. There's something that just didn't sound right about that statement. I don't know what it is, but it just didn't.
You're going to preheat your oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Transfer those steamed or boiled potatoes to a well-greased or sprayed 10 to 12-inch pie dish. You don't want one of the really low ones. You want a little bit more of a deep dish. Using the bottom of a glass, you're going to gently smash the potatoes to fill the bottom of the dish, and then you're going to push them upwards towards the edge of the dish to create the crust, like you do with graham cracker crumbs and butter.
Yep.
Once you have the potatoes in place, you're going to lightly drizzle them with olive oil and sprinkle them with the salt. Now, you're going to blind bake the crust for 20 minutes. Just pop it in that 400-degree oven, bake for 20 minutes, take the crust back out of the oven, and then reduce the oven temperature to 375. While the crust is baking, you can prepare the filling. In a large bowl, you're going to whisk together the eggs, the ricotta, the shredded cheese, the chopped broccoli, milk, spices, and the optional fresh herbs. Stir everything together until the filling is well mixed and as smooth as possible. Remove the crust from the oven and pour the filling in the dish. Pop it back into the oven. Bake it for another 35 minutes or until the filling is set. If you want to do this, you can put the quiche under the broiler for about 2 minutes or so at the end of the bake, just to give the potatoes some extra crisp and browning. It's completely up to you if you want to do that. Let it sit and cool for about 10 minutes so it sets, and then you're going to serve and enjoy. This sounds so delicious to me.
It's great for a weeknight dinner, breakfast, lunch to take as a hostess gift. All these things look great, but they're easy. And hey, if you're busy one night, this is not very hard at all. Just a nice family dinner served with a side salad. Even.
Most of the time that you're putting into this dish is the baking time. It really is. It's pretty quick, actually.
Exactly. Okay, so try it. You might like it. You might love it. Let us know what you think. Send us some pictures and just enjoy. Okay, so let's move on to retail therapy. Retail therapy. Yeah. This week's retail therapy, we are talking asparagus, which could be an add-in to your quiche.
Absolutely.
If you have it, you could put it with the broccoli, or you could just take the broccoli out and put the asparagus in, one or the other, or just enjoy them all. But if you're growing it, you got it right there. Yeah. My mom always made scrambled eggs and asparagus. It was her thing.
My mom made scrambled eggs and asparagus a lot.
Yes, my mom made it a lot, and we enjoyed it.
She used to talk about my grandfather Callahan's garden. He had this huge garden, including a huge asparagus bed, and he kept a flock of Rhode Island Reds, too.
Yeah. My mom grew up with like 500 Rhode Island.
I know. Yeah. Okay, so did you know that you can grow asparagus from seed?
I am not the savvy gardener of the two, so not really. I have not grown my own asparagus yet.
Well, most of us are used to buying asparagus crowns, like the crown and the root, if we want to grow our own. But seeds are another viable option if you're trying to establish your own asparagus bed. You probably have to wait like a good 3 years before you can harvest, but it's a much cheaper option than buying crowns, and it still gets you a nice perennial veggie bed that you're going to be able to harvest from for like 15 to 20 years.
Wait, what manor house were we in England that had the beautiful asparagus in the side?
That was
kitchen?
Kew.
That was the Kew house, right?
Yeah, the Palace at Kew, yeah.
That garden was amazing.
That garden, espaliered apples and pears, and I love that garden. That was a proper kitchen garden. Yeah.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
So asparagus is originally from the Mediterranean. The word asparagus is actually Greek, and it's been consumed for like 3,000 to 4,000 years. Now, it is the Romans who are widely credited with cultivating it about 2,000 to 3,000 years ago.
Of course.
Your people?
My people did it.
People with the dorkings and the asparagus. Which I have to say, if you're going to contribute something to the world, that's a pretty good contribution.
My people.
Now, early settlers brought asparagus to what would become the U.S., and it was here as early as 1650.
It's great.
It is great.
Okay, so asparagus is not only delicious, I can say this, it's one of my favorite vegetables, if you haven't already figured that part out. But it's also very healthy, according to the USDA. One medium asparagus spear contains only 3 calories, but has high levels of vitamins A, C, E, K, and folate. So it's also very full, like, of prebiotic fiber that feeds beneficial gut bacteria, and lots of potassium that can help relax blood vessels and lower blood pressure. This vegetable is amazing.
You're getting a little wound up, a little red in the face. Get you some asparagus.
Yes. I mean, just gnaw on it. I mean, if you feel yourself getting worked up, hold on, I gotta go get my asparagus. Yeah, exactly. And if that weren't enough, seriously, it also supplies potent antioxidants that remove carcinogens. I can never say carcinogens. Carcinogens. I can never say it. Carcinogens. Let me say it again so that maybe I can say it. That removes carcinogens and fights off free radicals. I'm getting all worked up over this asparagus over here.
You might need some spears too.
I think I need some. However, be aware that large amount of asparagus can act as a diuretic in some people. That is true. 100% true. And of course, it contains asparagustic acid that breaks down many of its own sulfur compounds, leading to an unpleasant smelling urine. That's what it does. But you know that it's working.
Yeah, I guess so.
You know that it's working. So this does clear up after about 30 minutes, depending upon how much you eat. If you eat a lot, it may take like a day.
I don't know. I don't think it ever takes that long. Also, that's a lot of asparagus that you'd have to be eating for it to take that long.
I eat a lot of asparagus.
I do too, but I don't have that problem, man.
It's not a problem if you want to get some water weight out.
I was talking about the odor, not the diuretic part.
Yeah.
All parts of the asparagus plant are edible for poultry, though some people claim that too much asparagus can cause your eggs to develop that unpleasant smell.
I can see that.
Sparingly to your flock.
I can see that.
I mean, eggs are already a bit sulfury, right?
Yeah.
Be aware, now this is important, be aware that the berries that your asparagus ferns produce later in the season are poisonous to humans, so no eating.
Don't eat the berries.
Don't eat the berries.
Don't eat the berries.
And this is one vegetable bed where you probably don't want your chickens scratching at it for a long time. They could very easily tear up the root system and mess up next year's harvest, which would be a real shame. You can feed asparagus stalks to your flock, but just our opinion, we would skip the really coarse and woody ones. If they're too gnarly, your birds could have problems digesting them. And we would also chop it into manageable pieces before sharing any asparagus with them because there's no need to risk a crop problem.
Here's the thing. Asparagus, I've never given them the stem part because
I actually don't either. I know a lot of people like to give all their kitchen scraps, but that's why we're saying if you do that, chop it up finely.
Yeah, because it's so fibrous. When we're saying you get a big dose of fiber from this vegetable, you do. And even the crowns are a little bit fibrous, right? But those stalks are really, so be very careful and only in very small amounts to the chickens. So asparagus comes in two colors, green and purple. The purple is probably way more healthy even than the green.
It probably has more antioxidants, but when you cook the purple, it turns green, so you can't tell.
I wonder if you cook out all the good stuff then. I
don't know. There are also green beans that are purple, and they also turn green when they're cooked. I'm not sure. Yeah. I'm not sure if it's... Yeah, it's a good question. I'll have to look that up.
Say if you're a vitamin scientist, not a vitamin. If you're a vegetable scientist out there and you know the answer to this, let us know. We'd like to know.
Also known as a botanist.
I'm a vegetable scientist. I'm getting a little frisky over here.
I guess it could also be a dietitian. I don't know. Anyway.
Vegetable scientist.
Vegetable scientist.
I like that one.
Yeah.
You can laugh at yourself. So you may have seen white asparagus, but that is blanched. So know that is not a real thing. It grows with a cover so that it stays tender and doesn't develop chlorophyll. Okay.
That's very much a thing in Europe, the blanched asparagus. They also blanch rhubarb too. Apparently it's delicious, but I've never had it.
Oh, and our next time over, we'll have to try it.
Yeah.
Okay. So there aren't tons of cultivars available. If you're buying crowns, you'll usually see Mary Washington and the Millennial and sometimes a purple variety.
Usually called Purple Passion.
Purple Passion.
I just got an order because I haven't had an asparagus bed here. There was one at the farm, but I'm just going with Mary Washington and the Purple Passion. Those are my varieties.
Is purple your passion?
No, it's not, but I like asparagus, so yeah.
I I have to say, it's one of my most favorite vegetables of all time. As a young child, I did not like it. But it was one of those things, as I got older, my taste buds changed and I grew to love it.
A lot of times for little kids too, the texture of foods can be really off-putting to them, especially like fibrous vegetables.
Right. So one of my 100% almost my favorite besides asparagus is zucchini and squash. Hated them as a child.
Yeah. I didn't like them either.
So you can find a few more varieties if you search for seeds. Baker Creek has a large speared variety called, what is that? The
Conover Colossal.
The Conover Colossal. Wow. True Leaf Market has UC 157 and Johnny Seeds has the purple variety. And I am not going to be able to say this.
Erasmus.
There you go. Eden Brothers has UC 72, a strain of Mary Washington. I would get Mary Washington because I like Mary Washington.
Well, exactly. Right. I have, yes. I mean, you can find Mary Washington everywhere, both seeds and crowns. I mean, you can't go wrong with it. It's a thinner asparagus. It's always delicious.
Yeah. Now, have some fun looking for heirloom asparagus seeds because, Holly Ann only does heirloom everything. She doesn't.
I actually have a hybrid radish in my garden right now.
What?
I know. I got it from True Leaf Market. It's from the Kitazawa seed collection, and it is called Sunburst Radish. I just thought it was pretty.
I'm shocked. Like, I'm falling over right now. Even though I'm sitting up, I'm really falling over.
What did we say a couple weeks ago? Never, ever, never is not in my language.
You could also swap the seeds or trade eggs with a neighbor who happens to have a great asparagus bed. I wish my neighbors did, because I would trade eggs for it all the time.
Absolutely. My goodness.
I do trade eggs for zucchini in my neighborhood a lot. I'm like, you give me your
walk around with a couple of eggs. What you got? Let me see what you got.
Yeah, what's your vegetable garden have?
What you got?
Give me that. I'll take that. I'll give you eggs. I always have eggs. So I'm like,
right now
herbs.
I've got sugar snap peas, spinach, radishes. I got rapini. I have beets and carrots, but they're still really little. What's my other thing? Oh, Chinese broccoli and kamatsuna greens.
And I saw the cutest thing that somebody, I'm always on looking at reels for, making reels, doing stuff, looking at reels. So somebody put a reel up. They had the cutest little cocktail garden. I loved it.
Oh, that's neat.
A little herb garden just like with mint and all the stuff you put in cocktails. It was such a cute idea.
It is very cute.
I was like, that is good. Okay. So, should we tell everybody what we're going to be talking about next week?
Sure thing. Next week, we're spotlighting what has become a rather popular chicken, also a rather popular chicken used in hybrid layers. That's the Ayam Samani.
Yes, it is popular.
We're being joined by the veterinarians of K-Hen, and we're going to be discussing, this is a great episode, we're going to be discussing biosecurity, but on a budget.
Another set of our favorite ladies.
Yeah. Cracking the eggs, rhubarb streusel muffins. I personally would like that to be rhubarb streusel bread.
No, muffins.
Gotta be muffins. Okay,
jumbo
you put yours
muffins
in. Mine might go into bit.
Jumbo muffins.
Oh, jumbo muffins. Okay, I gotta break out the jumbo pans. Okay, I have them. Don't worry. And retail therapy. We're gonna be giving our honest review of Eaton Pet and Pasture's new wound spray.
You always need all the wound sprays. Let me tell you, you will need a wound spray.
Sure thing.
Yes. So listen to hear our review. Okay. So what should we tell everybody to do until next week?
Hug your chickens, ducks, and geese.
And kiss them too. We'll talk to you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
If you'd like to see more of us, please follow us on Instagram at Coffee with the Chicken Ladies. If you'd like to help us grow the podcast, please leave us a written review on Apple Podcasts. If you'd like to become a patron of the show, please visit our Patreon page, patreon.com/Coffee with the Chicken Ladies. Thanks for listening.